The Hoyt Public Library of Saginaw has serviced the community for nearly 130 years. This majestic structure and center of learning was a gift to the city by a prominent citizen and developer of Saginaw by the name of Jesse Hoyt. As early as the 1850s, he and his family were involved in Michigan's lumbering era, also establishing railroad services, banking, building construction, and salt manufacturing. All of his efforts contributing to Saginaw's early economic growth. When Mr. Hoyt died, August 12, 1882, among provisions in his will, he dedicated $100,000 to establish a library. He stipulated this gift be used for consultation and reference only, and the institution will always be known as the Hoyt Public Library. In April of 1920, it was decided an addition to the library was needed to provide additional services. The plan for the new addition would cost $150,000. Contractors used the same building materials that were used for the original construction. The new addition included a large reference room on the east side of the library. The former main reading room now becomes the children's room. A new entrance was built on Janes Avenue to provide a more central access to the library. By the late 1950s, new plans called for an 11,000 square foot addition, plus a balcony in the reference room of the older building.
As a kid, I used to ride my bike down here on a regular basis, at least once, maybe twice a week at times. And I just have fond memories of going down into the children's area, reading my Boys Life magazines or my model railroading magazines, and always taking a book home. It was always a special place to go, just a nice getaway, and a place where you can just get your mind kind of clear, and just somewhere to go, and it was always safe.
As the new century arrived, the Hoyt Library quickly took advantage of new technology to service the public with downloadable audio books and e-books. In 2010, to streamline the circulation process, radio frequency identification tags were placed on every item in the library's collection. Patrons, children, and adults could now have instant access to full-text articles from magazines and newspapers using mail databases. Imagine viewing the complete National Geographic magazine archives. The local history and genealogy department now uses the online services of 10 or more resources, such as American Ancestors, Heritage Quest, and Saginaw City directories from 1866 to 1935. The library over the years has had numerous fundraising events.
The Haunting at Hoyt Library was one of our most successful fundraisers that ran for 4 years. It was a really fun night. People really enjoyed it. We got a great turnout for it. There was an auction, we had food, we had dancing, we had a photo booth, we even had a haunted tour, because there are some rumors floating around here that there may be some other spirits here in the library. There was even a movie done about the Hoyt Library.
The library continues to be active in outreach to schools, assisted living centers, and the community at large.
For over 50 years, the Bloomfield Township community has enjoyed wonderful library services. It wasn't always so. In the early 1960s, a group of dedicated residents worked very hard to inform other residents of the need and value for a public library in the community. They were successful, and the rest is history, as they say. Soon after, the first library board was formed. With their dedication, vision, and leadership, the first Bloomfield Township Public Library was established. It was in a rented office building with a small space, small staff, and small collection.
It was soon evident a larger facility was needed. Township residents, Mr. and Mrs. Leslie Green, were gracious enough to donate 4 acres of land for a new library site at the corner of Echo and West Long Lake Road. In March of 1965, a new group called the Friends of the Library was established. By October, the library at the Devon Building had 24,000 books in the collection and served 5,817 patrons. By May of 1966, new building plans were in motion, and a millage campaign to raise $1.5 million was voted on. It was determined a more central location for a new library was needed. Mr. Green agreed to sell the 4-acre parcel of land, and in turn, an 8-acre site at Lone Pine and Telegraph Road was found to meet the requirement. Groundbreaking for the new library location was August 7, 1967. The township population is now approaching 35,000. It would take nearly 2 years to build the new structure of the interconnecting pavilions. The library gardens were still in full bloom on October 11, 2008, when there was another grand event, the rededication of the library. Hundreds of community residents and township officials toured the complete complex. They saw the many offerings in the adult services area. For many, they were truly amazed to have a world-class children's center in their library. Residents enjoyed the dining experience as well. There were trumpeters who, with their fanfare, led guests to the ribbon-cutting ceremony in the new community room.
The Bloomfield Township Board of Trustees, past and present, have had great stewardship and leadership and vision to keep the library what it is today, the place to discover. Our very generous friends have donated over $1 million to this library for its special touches, its art and gardens, programs, and special additions to the collections. And of course, the heart and soul of the library is library staff, who provide great service and exceptional library experience to everyone who visits the library. Thank you, Bloomfield Township, for your support of this amazing library that champions the power of words to spark discovery and imagination.